Alright guys, back here with another video on the 308 Mopar heads. So I was calculating I was calculating at least how much under um pinch, like how much restricted by the pinch these heads are, because they are restricted by the pinch. So these heads I am convinced have had a valve job done. Just by how it looks. Or they were very well done from the factory, and I like it the way it is. So this area right here, the throat on these heads, in average, they have like a 1.9-inch area for that throat. And that should be the restriction in the entire head. So when I did, I went to here and was, um, I was measuring the area. So what I did, because there's this triangle area here, if I was to leave it, is I went from here on up and measured, got that area, and then I turned this into a square here and a triangle here. I'm gonna get this area here. I'm just using my measurements. And this area is 1.6 inches. So there's a 0.3 inches bigger area here than here, which is not what we want. So what we want is this to still be like a close restriction. But we want this to be the ultimate restriction. So what I am going to do here, guys, and so here's the calculations I did. So here's the area of the throat. Oh, there's the T. I crossed the V out. That's the area of the throat. And then I calculated the area just in general. I'm just assuming they're all within like 5% of the area in general of the port. So here's the area of the square area, like I said. Here's the area of the tiny small area I split into a square, and then that triangle. And that's the total area, 1.602 inches. And here's just some numbers. I write random numbers when I calculate sometimes. So here is a Hedgelson E-bar that I did create. And so I'm going to use this E-bar here to measure how much I can go with these heads. But like I said, like I may want to push rod hold these or weld them or something. Welding would be hard. Definitely doing the push rod would be a lot easier to do just a brass. Ream it out, put brass in, or rather thick brass, and then just go to where the brass is where I want it to be with the E-bar here. I think I'm going to do it with the E-bar first. I'm not going to go extreme. I'm just going to do it to where the throat, when I bring this throat to 87% at least, is not the restriction, or is is the uttermost restriction, and the push rod here is not so much a restriction. And I'm going to do a little bit of porting on these here today on both sets of heads. The first thing I'm going to do is take out this valve cover bolt boss here on both heads. You want to kind of keep doing what you do to them together. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut down these here, because this is actually the restriction on these heads. It's unbelievable, guys. And then, well, there's a lot of work to do on these heads, but I mean, if you put in the time, you can do very well with these heads, just because that exhaust is better than well, it's a better shape than what you're going to get from the well, used to be, I think, Pro Comp, the Summit Racing heads, I'll call that. It's a better shape than the Summit Racing heads. And I'm going to go through step by step. So the next clip you're going to see here is these all cleaned up. Just this here. I've seen porting videos, but I like to do it. I want to do it one at a time, just so you guys can see the changes. And really, I do not need to open up the area up and down very much. It's just, you just get rid of the restrictions. You don't widen the wall out, not up here anyway. You may have to widen it out on this side right here, farther in, like over here. But that's not what I'm worried about right now, because you do want to make the port lean. But anyways, I will get to the next clip here of me cleaning up this valve. Oh, not valve. The head bolt boss here. Cleaning that up. And that should net me a pretty close area. I'll also show the calculation in the next video of how much area I gained just from doing that. I'm just to go through step by step of boarding these 308 heads so you guys can see exactly at least what changes in area you get from modifying heads. All right, guys. So back here again. So I have the cylinder heads, the 308s. And what I did here is I cut these open. There are some areas where it's poking through just a little bit. But you can epoxy or even JV weld those up, and that's probably what I'm gonna do. Is just not epoxy. I'm gonna use the like the RT like blue, the lock thread locker. That should work on that. So then don't mind the surface rust on this cylinder. So I did it on this head. I did it also on this head here. Yeah, so you can see. So I found out the area of this now, and it's not much bigger, even for the width it is. It is 0.742 times 2.25, because that's the height. That's the width, which is just abysmal. That's 1.66 inches squared. Still way less than what the bull is on pi r squared, which is 1.906. So r on the diameter is 1.558, so that's 0.7. I didn't take that number exactly. I took the exact half of that, squared it, then multiplied it by pi, and that's what you get. So what that means is we'd have to cut over this quite a bit. This here quite a bit. I'm going to use the E-bar and estimate or get a good guesstimation of how far I can open these up. I'm not going up or down for area. I'm going to go this way with the pushrod pinch. And if I feel like I need to sleeve these in order to get the right amount of area, even for 1.88 valves, then I am definitely going to order the sleeves and reamers, and I'll even order reamers for the push rod, or not the push rod, the valve stem there you can see. So that's what I'm going to do. I will post that part in the next part, what my calculations were and how much I decided to cut off. And again, I'm going to do it on each port, so I do each port exactly the same or close enough. And then I'm not going to go max yet, but then I am going to do the pushrod pinch. Well, not the push. I'm doing the pushrod pinch. Then I'm going to talk about cutting down this valve guide a bit. And then after the valve guide, I'm going to work on the bowl. And I'm not going to go all the way with the valve guide. I'm just going to do like a rough cut. Because I want to do the bowl next, because you don't want the valve guide to get too thin, and if your burr bounces around, you can hit that. So look for the next part here. It should be in the clip in this video. And then I will let you guys know how it goes in each step I take. And again, one thing David Vizar did say, just as a note, and this is something I remembered, you always want to make your top wider than your bottom, because the top is where most of the airflow is at. So the bottom isn't going to do too much for me, and one of the reasons why I said earlier these heads were kind of had some bad designs is because they had a restricted top. I had no idea why they did that, but oh wait, I do have an idea. It was for the pushrod, not the pushrod. I always call it pushrod. I call everything pushrod. The valve covers. So, look for the next part here. And we'll see where we go from here. All right, guys, back here again. So I only did this one part here. It is starting to get a little bit late. So I brought it out to being, it's about like 0.86, 0.87 inches wide. With the skinniest part here. The main issue we're running into is the wall. It's just too thin, guys. So when I was measuring this, so you got about this much left. I'm not gonna go any closer than this. Not unless if I have the brass guides in there. But the issue I'm running into is with the 1.88 valves, even to this width, which is I'd be okay with running basically stock if you're gonna do this to help the heads. Even with this, the area is slightly larger. It's slightly larger than the port size here, the throne. So the area there is 1.9575. And the area here, ooh, I'm getting some weird light effects. The area here is 1.906 of the throat here on the intakes. So, what that means, guys, I'm gonna basically just stop it here and order a reamer and some bronze guides to put in here so I can address that issue, because bringing it out to 87% bowl, which is where I want to, that's not even a radical bowl percentage. I'm gonna need 0.93 inches wide if I keep this 2.25 inches tall, in order to even match that. Which is what I kind of normally like to do. So that is what I'm going to do. It's still, these heads should have a lot of velocity and still should kick butt with torque. But you want the restriction again to be the throat, not the pushrod pinch. And right now, if I didn't touch over there at all, didn't touch the width, this would be not the restriction. The throat would be the restriction. But if I open that throat and do the bulwark I want to it, it's not even that much. It's just slightly. The problem is going to be this pushrod pinch, and we just can't really have that as our main issue. So I am going to go and order the bronze guides and reamers, and the next video you should see after this one should be me reaming out the heads and doing the bronze guides. I will open up all these to this one next time you see it. However, really our main restriction is going to be the pushrod pinch. Believe it or not, it's the pushrod pinch on these heads. So if you like my content, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the videos to help get those videos out there to more people. And again, I still got a lot of work to do on these heads and surface rust in there. But there is some chamber work I could also do by rounding things out. I also did measure these. I didn't make a CC measuring video. But these are 72 cc's, and that's like on the really high range, and that's part of the reason why I thought maybe somebody cut a chamber cut here. I think somebody did a chamber cut, and then they also did the whatever valve job this is, 5 maybe on it. But anyway, so I hope you did like the video, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks.